All right, we'll call this meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission, this committee, to order. Personal appeals?
I think that's what I'm here for.
Yes, yes.
Do I sign in this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can sign in, we'll take it down.
Hi, I'm Brett Lennig, with EMFA Youth Football.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Shane, if you got a copy, I tried to email you one when you first, probably in January, end of January, a copy of the fee waiver form for us to see if we can, I didn't think so.
Yeah, because I that's the one thing I am good at doing is returning emails.
And that's what I thought, so that's why I'm here today.
Yeah.
Requesting to see if we can get the fees waived for having less than, what is it,
50%.
50%? 50% participant, 50%? We should be pretty close.
50% East Emmaus
Borough.
resident.
Emmaus Borough. Yeah, I think we had 40. I think she counted it, redid it again. It was the way Kevin had it, because I'm the new president now. Kevin Hallman was here before.
Yes.
He had 55. I think she recalculated it. It came down to like 47 or something like that. But and then we're basing this off of our 2011 attendance. Hopefully, in 2012 will be more Borough residents than not. But I would like to, I guess, hand this in to you guys to see if we can get a waiver.
Sure.
And
This is a formal letter requesting that.
for requesting it, and then a list of, changed a little bit because I don't think I have her copy. I think she had a different copy for the parks, the other parks group.
That was just to let
us know how many there were individuals were, because she checked them all.
Yeah, it is confusing, the two groups.
You're telling me you should all these meetings, I don't know which one I'm supposed to go to.
Yep, you're at the correct one.
That's even better.
Borough Council would be in charge of waiving any fees.
Okay.
So what we'll do here is, I mean, we'll discuss this letter, we've just gotten it, but we'll discuss it. Once we make a decision, we'll recommend that to Borough Council, then Borough Council will take official action on that. That would, if we make a decision here today, that would be at our next meeting then, at our next Borough Council meeting, that you would know.
Next one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's one I was at.
Actually, it'll be on this.
16, 2 weeks.
Are we going to
2
do
weeks.
a recommendation now?
I don't know. I will see it. It's so
Council,
straightforward.
the council
It
meeting
probably
will
is,
be,
because we've handled this last couple of years.
so what is the 16th?
The 16th, I think so.
19th.
19th. Okay. So, yeah, that would when we would take official action. If you wanted to, we can read it, but you could probably tell us. It's asking for a fee waiver. I know.
It's just basically a fee waiver for us because I think we have, they're all East Penn students.
Exactly.
But some of myself and there's a few others live over in Macungie, Lower Macungie, some up in Milford.
Yep.
We're just trying to keep the youth, our program as big as possible right now.
Absolutely.
Trying to compete with the other program.
Yeah. And it sounds like more Emmaus residents.
We're getting more back because Kevin had to deal with the split.
Right.
And half of them just, of course, ran. So now we have, and I've actually got 4 emails today for people signing up already that are Borough residents, which are nice.
Right.
That are new to the program because they're coming back over now.
Yeah.
Because their older brothers were over there, now they want to come back over.
Right. Yeah. No. That's great to see it coming back to Emmaus, which is nice. And in the past, the Football Association has given a contribution.
Yes.
Was that the intent?
Yeah, we gave that in January.
Okay, you already took care of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure the good stuff first.
No, I mean that's certainly appreciated as well. Any groups that we have granted a fee waiver for, we've asked that they make some sort of contribution. There is obviously always going to be a cost associated with all those things. So
I would
appreciate
request,
that.
personally, I would request if your numbers do increase, maybe increase the contribution because our costs are rising dramatically also. Even if it's just $50 or $100, it would be greatly appreciated because.
Well, their donation is pretty substantial. I think it was 2,000.
1,000.
1,000. Okay.
Well,
So no,
think of how much wear and tear is on a football field.
It's far substantial.
It's wear and tear, so.
And that's really where the 50% rule came into play. Is that as an outside borough organization, obviously the taxpayer money hasn't gone in, the direct taxpayer money hasn't gone into that. So, yeah, I don't have any further questions. We'll add this and discuss it. It might be something that if we create more questions here, are you going to be here for the next?
Yep,
meeting?
I'll be here. And we'll still like to volunteer and help with if you wanted to do, because I think they help with Consciousness Park in August and September, whenever those days are. We'll be glad to open the snack park again.
Yeah, that would
and
be
also
great.
Community Day. We'll gladly set it up again.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
that we've been going then.
Absolutely, yeah, that's
we'll
great.
continue
Yeah,
to.
because that variable of when baseball season ends and when you start, yeah, having it covered, that concern was expressed from the special entertainment committee. So
We'll be more than happy to keep it running.
great.
All right, thank you.
Is that the request that I will give to the council?
It is. But
We'll make a motion on it here, and then we'll take a recommendation to full council.
you were just saying because the letter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Yeah. No, I know.
Are those last year's
Before we
numbers?
before
Are
we
those
get
last
into-
year's numbers?
Yes, those are last year's. Before we get into discussion, any other personal views? No. So, if we want to just,
So this will be under new business.
this would be under new business if we want to address this right now.
I
see
mean,
if
I
we
don't
have
have a
some questions.
problem waiving it, because obviously, I mean, I'm involved in the youth program, you want as many kids as you want to keep their costs down. My problem is, we have this rule, and have we ever charged anybody for,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyone
actually,
who-
let me rephrase that, any youth programs, have we charged
Yeah.
any?
yeah. A lot.
Which one?
The two.
I know
that-
softball tournaments.
Yes. That's,
Softball
Softball
tournament.
tournaments is the main,
that's
is the
almost
main fundraiser.
three.
St. Anne's, we charge
St. Anne's, yeah, because then they're all Emmaus. The
The
flag
difference,
football.
the difference between
the-
tournaments and this is though, they're using it for 3 solid months.
Right.
Every day almost, except for maybe, maybe Sundays you don't use it, right?
Well, I mean, I look at it this way. I mean, the park is there to be used. I don't want to make it so
That's-
strict that, yeah.
That's not my gist.
Okay.
I'm not looking to charge them. I'm
Okay.
looking at the point of,
What's the number?
well, I mean, why don't we have it if we waive it every time?
I believe we have it, so if a second football program comes to us, we have a better way to make a decision about it. Say that Lower Macungie football program for some reason has an issue with the school district and the township, and they come to us and say, hey, can we use your fields? Well, yes, but you have to pay us this much.
Yeah.
And this is the primary football program for our youth. We have parks to allow a place for the children to have recreation. I mean, that's the purpose of us having a park.
Are they only using the soccer field now?
No, I would say
They're
they're using the soccer field and the back.
Well, I mean, with the field
Or when
work.
you're saying soccer, you're saying in the back. Yeah, we haven't seen anything
Train
from
track field,
EYA.
I guess you can call it.
We haven't seen anything from EYA yet to know what's going to happen or how.
Well, that's my
going to change.
concern. I mean, are they even aware of that there might be a situation that comes up?
Because the Parks and Rec Commission is in charge of field approval, so if that wasn't in there, I mean, they would approve.
Well, yeah, the commission approved all the fields already, that was in their January meeting.
But if there's gonna be work done on the baseball field, they can't have football there if that work is being done. Isn't that the time they were
I
gonna
see
do it
what
in the
you're
fall?
saying.
Yeah, but I think that work is gonna be done on the infield dirt.
But that
That's a large outfield, I
That
mean.
is part of, I mean, it's
Is that
right
part
there
of it?
where
Is
the
that
bleachers
part
and
of-
stuff are, yeah.
Well, here's the football.
Isn't their playing field, wouldn't their playing field be out in the outfield grass?
If I'm not mistaken,
Goes
when
back
my
this,
kids used to
and
play,
bleachers,
that,
okay, so-
those
so
bleachers
those
were in
balls.
the dirt from the
The
infield.
bleachers hit the dirt.
And, yeah,
Now, the bleachers, we may
Couldn't
come.
the bleachers just go on the other side?
We may, and that's what I wanted to say. We may run into an issue where if they're actively working on that infield, while at time we may have to,
Spring road, I'm
over
working
it, move it to the other side, or move it to someone,
Yeah.
move your spectators
I
somewhere
guess
else.
a few elements is, one, I'd like to hear from EYA to even know
Absolutely.
what they're planning on doing. The second one is, I want to know if that field was approved. That discussion, I believe, took place already about the possibility of construction.
by the commission.
By the commission. I think there was like some thought of, all right, well, what's going to go on? It may, do you know if it was granted permission for both of them? I just, off the top of my head, I don't
No, because we
remember.
were just, in January we started.
It was
we should-
literally my second day on the job.
Yeah, no, I know, I don't remember. Regardless, Vicky.
Well, we
Google
should
will-
find that out,
Yeah.
and EYA, the sooner we get the plans, the better, because it does affect other people.
Most definitely, I don't know what.
Well, the
what
only
they're waiting
request
for.
from them to this committee is to have the field fees waived.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I think it's it's the right thing to do. We've done this for the last 4 years for this group.
Absolutely, absolutely. They are a benefit to Emmaus. I mean, they are a benefit to our youth, they are a benefit to our park, and they are a benefit in general.
Yeah.
They go well out of their way to work that snack bar as often as possible, and I hear very positive things about it.
Yeah. we have charged people. That was something that,
Okay.
look back 4 years, and the amount of revenue that's come in is significantly different than,
It used to be.
I mean, that, a big change. Yes, they're using it very heavily, but that's why we have them.
No, I'm in favor of the waiver. I already made my, if their numbers go up, I would hope that they contribute, even if it's $50 or $100 more, because there is a lot of wear and tear in that field. And I do hear, being on the Public Works Committee as chairman, I do hear it from our Public Works Director,
Yeah.
how much work it is to do
Yeah.
the wear and
The
tear,
parks-
especially to get it back up for baseball season.
I mean, the parks operate at about, what, a $200,000 loss every year? I mean, they're just a utility, it's not a valuable. it's not a
Your
value that you
parks,
place
yeah,
on it.
your parks are always like a value-added service.
Right,
That's-
exactly, yeah. it's a utility. So,
So with that being said, I'll make a motion that we grant a waiver for the midget football program.
And I'll
I
second
don't know the official,
EPE.
10 letters or whatever it is.
discussion? All in favor? So we'll recommend that to council. If the council feels it's just, your fee will be waived. Thanks. So yeah, you're welcome to stay, but your official business got taken care of pretty quickly, so not a big.
Thank you, gentlemen. If you don't mind, I'll go back to work.
Exactly. So, thanks. All right, items that we received 2 letters, one from the Main Street program for the second Saturday sidewalk sales, and they'd like to have music on the triangle. That's something that,
Are you providing it?
no. I think
Do
that
they have
they,
live music,
I think so.
like a guitarist or something?
Yeah, it's, last year they had a guitarist, trying to think what else I saw down there. Yeah, I know that they had live music, so. Any concerns,
No, it
questions?
didn't seem like there was anything, there weren't even,
Yeah,
there weren't no tents or anything involved with that one, right? That was just. we want
So that's
that-
it, just for the live music, that's it?
Yep, and I didn't actually remember that being something that we needed to approve, but,
Because of use of the park, right?
right. So I think it's actually just letting us know, but if we want to make it official.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve
And I'll second that.
the use of Triangle Park on the second Saturday of each month between May and October, between the hours of 9:30 and 2:30 for live music through the Emmaus Main Street Partners.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, you guys vote on this. Does that make it official or is this a recommendation?
It goes to the
This is
council.
a recommendation.
Okay, this is a recommendation. Well, there's, still learning what you guys are calling recommendations and not, because I know that.
All
there are
I think
other
everything,
things.
everything we ever voted on goes before council.
Typically, everything that we vote on at a committee goes to council. There are a few time-sensitive things, but it's fine.
Right, and that's why I was
That's
asking,
why-
because there
that
are a couple
wasn't-
things.
That wasn't typical that we would do that, because it was time-sensitive and because we weren't changing any service in the situation.
That's why I asked.
Oh, okay,
Thank
yeah, yeah, and, yeah. All in favor?
Aye. I didn't see this part.
Something like that, huh?
And then the last one was for the Main Street Championship cycling. The only request that we have to deal with on this is they would like to put tents on the triangle, which is something that requires permission.
I'll make a motion that we grant the tents in the triangle contingent upon Jeff Clapper's approval where they're placed. Where they're placed, yeah.
And I would believe they already know that,
Yeah.
considering they do it often, but I
I'm
agree.
fine,
agree.
but I mean,
Yeah,
just to make
it's-
sure that they're gonna be hooked up
Safe.
properly and
Yeah.
whatnot.
And there's a map somewhere, Shane, that shows like the dimensions of the triangle and where tents can fit, that I think Jeff made at some point, that maybe you just,
Cause they're
maybe
talking,
make sure they have at some point, I guess.
now is the mobile band shell and riser?
Well, don't-
Oh, that's going on the street.
They don't get involved with
That's
that.
on the street.
They missed the street
That-
closing to put that in here.
Um,
Unless you know, they want to put something.
well, it's kind of funny that they just put those streets on there to close, because the way that we have our detour and street closures already set up for this, that we're going to public safety with, is much more
Okay,
than
elaborate than that,
Yeah,
good.
it's much more on there.
Yeah, because it says all spaces on all closed streets, so that would be one of them.
So that is my motion to,
Permit them.
Yeah, to grant that permission to use the triangle for that date and hours, where is it 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on July 8th, granted approval of placement and like Jeff Cochran.
Okay. Do you second that?
Yeah, I'll second.
Discussion?
My concern is they haven't talked to the business owners about this yet. I was downtown over the weekend and Monday, and there are quite a few business owners who just don't know this is going on yet. And I don't have a problem with them putting tents on the canopy, but I'm concerned as this project evolves that business owners should be aware before it happens.
Can I put my
Yeah,
2 cents in? At our staff meeting today, I got the preliminary cost estimates from every department head.
Very good.
The cost is $23,500,
Just from the borough standpoint.
Just from the borough
Pulling this off.
which is going to boost their costs up to $100,000. In reality, I don't think they need to be informing anybody at this point
Okay.
because I don't think it's feasible cost-wise.
You don't think they're going to be able to do
I don't
it?
think they're going to be able to do it. You have 4 months to raise $100,000, and the indications that I
How
had
to
gotten.
get, maybe I'm lost. How's it
Well-
get over 100,000?
Well, first of all, you have our $23,000.
And that's
in our
specifically for
stance-
what?
In our stance, that's our labor. That's 100% labor.
Okay,
We're looking at $9,800 of police labor.
okay.
We're looking at $3,500. And I'm sorry, it's $23,000 just on our labor plus another $10,000, which I'll get into. It's $3,500 in Jeff Clapper's labor. Okay. Mike Nonamaker submitted $8,400 in labor or something like that.
What is this labor?
Nonamaker, they have to be there the entire day.
Just sitting there, you gotta pay them
Yeah,
per hour?
multiple places.
Okay.
And not to mention they have to have, they have to have an ambulance charge.
Because it could be
and,
5,000 people.
Fire department is like $980 in labor, and that's because they have to be on standby. Multiple emergency services tents. Mike got something in the realm of $10,000 of donations in terms of hospital services for this thing, like cooling tents and first aid stations. Then on top of that, an extra $10,000, so it actually is like $33,000 for the use of, and I think it's called Public Works Services or something like that. It's a company that will come in and put all the big signage up. And that's how Jeff's labor will be down, because they would use that service.
In other words, he doesn't want to deal with it, he's just
Well,
going to sub it out.
it's not that he doesn't want to deal with it. It's that quite honestly, an event of that magnitude, we don't have the
They're not equipped.
The
yeah,
equipment.
we don't have the equipment or signage.
So they have to rent the equipment and have a professional put it in place.
So,
all
we could
the
grant this-
liability of that.
So there's actually like a mobile company that'll come into communities for big events like that. The problem is it's a 14-hour event, so there's no way for us. I mean, even if we trimmed our cost 10%, you're knocking off $2,300. You know what I mean?
But some of these events, I mean, you the half rodeo, half and
Yeah,
whatnot, they get
But-
$250,000 in
Yeah.
at least in
Right, but
sponsors.
those are events that have been going on and are traditions and have worked their way up to it.
Well, if they start for next year, and people
that's-
have budgeted money for next year.
But that's the point. Events of this magnitude, you start today for next year at this time. They have to pay the Cycling Federation $20,000 up front. That's an upfront cost. So right there between them and us, they're $55,000.
What do the bikers pay to enter?
Well, that's where they're able to get their fees. Yeah, that's where they're able to get their fees.
I mean,
But just with those two services, without anything else, without contracting any kind of entertainment people or the stage or any of the sound equipment, any of that stuff, they're already between 55 and 60.
well, they gave us the impression that they were going to make money on this.
Yeah. Well, and that's their goal is to get to get funded through different
Right.
sources.
Which is what
Which-
we support.
Which would be nice. The problem is, the event, I mean, let's be realistic, the event's 4 months away.
Yeah, no, I
Terry
think-
Madison's indication to me was there's no money in pocket yet.
And we had that problem last year. Didn't they start too late last year?
That doesn't mean that there's
They started too late to pull off detours last year. This year they're starting too late to fund.
yeah. Well, and that's my understanding. That doesn't mean that the money's not on its way. That doesn't mean they don't have stuff lined up. But you know, I asked her specifically last week, what do you have in pocket? And the answer was nothing. So we're sitting here.
So we can approve this and it's going nowhere.
Right, yeah, it's simple. I mean, from our
Right.
standpoint, I mean, I'd love to see it happen, but
Getting back to Brian's original point, if this is something that's gonna generate revenue for the downtown, every one of those businesses should be notified so that they can participate and maybe do something,
or
maybe
vice
sell
versa,
drinks or
right.
whatever, they could,
Well, their
whatever
concern,
they do to
the
generate
concern that I
income.
heard from 3 business owners was this is to generate revenue for the Main Street partners, not for my business. And they're going to be competing directly with my business when they start selling food and alcohol that they don't ask me to provide.
Well, everybody should be involved in it.
You're right, you're correct. I mean, they should be asked to put a tent outside of their restaurant and sell everything people are
Or,
going to need, but then
or
the Main Street,
businesses, they could sell whatever.
whatever, but then the Main Street partners doesn't make the money, the businesses do.
Well, and you know, looking from their standpoint, you kind of understand what they're saying is,
Right,
you know,
but you don't make it.
you understand what the Main Street partners are saying too. If they're a membership-based organization and they're bringing in 5,000 people in the town, from their standpoint, it's
Absolutely.
we're bringing all these people in the town, but you haven't given us a dime to promote anything. So why should we want you to participate? That's from their standpoint. I mean, I can see where
I see both sides.
I can see where that argument would come from with them. Our standpoint as a municipality, obviously, is the exact opposite. We want every business down there to be profitable on that day, to be visible that day, to benefit that day.
There's just businesses that can't afford it either.
Right.
They're hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, and then there's insurance companies and things like that that, quite honestly, on a day like that,
just another day the building was going to have no one in front of it.
exactly,
Anyhow.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
The benefit that way is that it's a Sunday. So a lot of those businesses
Close down,
wouldn't be
right.
open. Those people wouldn't be affected because it's not like their clients can't get
and that's why that's one of the reasons why they wanted to have it on a Sunday
Yeah.
was, you know, a lot of the businesses that would normally be affected
Yeah.
won't be open.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at this a lot like when you have Music Fest. Many of those business owners will say, oh, it's not our greatest week, it actually is a down week for us, even though 1 million people come to Bethlehem in a 10-day period. But I know when I go downtown to Bethlehem, and I'm down there, I might not go in that store that day, but I go, oh yeah, I forgot there was this store, or remember this store. And it's future stuff. I mean, I think it's short-sighted to just look at it, what the effect is that day. I mean, down the road is different. Because I've talked to other business owners too that said when there have been events at the Triangle, that day was less because it was just too much going on, or the flow that was created really didn't draw people into their business. But
they may tell people, oh yeah, this.
oh yeah, or they remember, or they come back, or the next day.
Downtown is so nice, and
Yeah,
just
yeah, it's
I
a
agree.
long-term
Good
idea.
PR.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, if you can put 5,000 people in front of
your
business, there
business,
has to be a benefit. It's just like
Yeah.
any of those crowds saying, here's my
Yeah.
Well, it
business.
says 3,000 to 5,000, so.
Right, yeah, I mean,
you should get
there
1% of the
be-
people to come into your shop at some point.
Yeah.
I would believe. So, yeah, no, I think what the Main Street partners want to do is very noble. I'm just concerned, as you are, that we put too much effort
Oh.
into something
Well,
and it doesn't come to fruition.
Yeah, in my
Second my motion, 'cause I think I said
Yeah,
that.
we're in discussion.
Yeah. my what I said to the staff a couple weeks ago was, look, we need to put the preliminary cost estimates together, and then we're going to sit and run away. Look, yeah, here's the legitimate costs.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have it broken down by employee, by hour. Here's what your legitimate cost is. So now you have it.
Yeah.
We're not going to do a thing until
Yeah.
they make a move. But
Yeah, I mean,
the
let's
thing
not get
is,
the ducks in a row, but
the thing is we're saying that by the end of April, they have to make a move one way or the other, because it'll be absolutely, we'll still apply for the street closing permit, because you can always just not
Just
close
cancel
it.
it.
Yeah.
Does it cost anything for that?
No. I think a street closing permit's like 10, it's minimal, it's like $10 or something like that. In which case they'll reimburse us for it.
And that's very minor. Just so we're not having thousands of dollars.
Right.
$10.
But we'll still apply for that, but we're basically gonna sit there and wait, but by the end of April, if it's gotta be a no go, or a go or no go with them.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I think we prove this, and if it goes nowhere, it goes nowhere. If it
Doesn't
goes
affect
ahead,
us,
this is just one more thing that's.
At least it'll
Taking
give
care
them a
of it.
realistic cost and what it would be for next year if they're gonna go after.
Yeah.
You know. Of course, they probably said that last year.
Well, last year they only made it as far as we're too late to close the street.
I know this, I saw their budget a month ago and it had $2,000 budgeted for borough expenses. So, you know, yeah.
They were taking some things for granted at times.
At least one or two people there were, I'm sure you'll hear their plea at some point in the council meeting.
And I think
Yeah.
they'll be more real. I think they'll be more
Yeah.
realistic when they see that.
Yeah.
But you don't know, I mean, one sponsor alone could bring in 50,000.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be the
Yeah,
Lindenberg
Maybe,
family bike race.
maybe
Or
Rodale, yeah, maybe Rodale had one
really
last
wants
year
to
last
sponsor
year.
this.
Or you can call it the Lindenberg family bike race.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So we have properly seconded motion, we were in discussion, all in favor? We received a letter from the Parks and Rec Commission about Community Day. We already approved the date. They gave us a more official kind of timeline of what they're looking at. There are just a few things that need official approval. We can do them individually or collectively. They're identical, at least my understanding is, to what we approved last year. And I'll just read them off. They'd like to extend the hours of the park until 10 p.m. They'd like to occupy the Legion baseball field, occupy the small baseball field, occupy the back soccer field, occupy the grove area kind of between all the pavilions, permit dogs and possibly other small animals which will be in cages in the park, use the basketball courts, use of the access road from 14th Street to the pool area, and have pop-up style tents for the service clubs and churches to sell food or have the kids' activities. These tents will occupy the access road and possibly the grove area.
I move to approve.
Okay.
Those are the same as last year.
They're the same as last year, and we've approved them for other things. This is a community event.
A second motion.
No dumping?
It doesn't look that way. It was actually from an expense.
Did it make money or lose money?
I would say if anything it broke even. I would guess that it lost money. I think it was $150, which was actually $100 off of what the price was supposed to be, and they'd still didn't make money. So
It's kind of cheap too.
those are the people that were in it.
They're talking about the dump tank again.
Yeah, no, I know.
They don't know though.
I got the impression that
Yeah, they don't
from
know.
a budget standpoint. So that wasn't in here yet. If they do, they'll add it. So, all in favor?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be, I think I'm on vacation that week, so.
Oh, yeah?
I'll be able to, I ran a basketball tournament last year because nobody else was there to do it, so I just did an impromptu
Yeah, yeah.
bracket and we had
You
fun.
going to kill an elk?
Finish your master's degree on Wednesday. Graduate. Second master's.
Where are you going on vacation? Anywhere fun?
Well, when we don't have money, we just go up to our cabin up
There
in
you
Bradford.
go. Well, that's fun enough.
All right, into old business. One of the things that we did not do, we had a discussion, we did not make a final recommendation for second member of the Parks and Rec Commission. We had one person interview that was from Bethlehem. His address that he printed on there was an Emmaus address, but that was his business address.
Was that called Leany or something?
Yeah, Jeff McElhaney. And then we had Brian Groover as our second option.
I'm uncomfortable recommending Brian Gruber just because his mother is the president of council. The president of the commission. It concerns me that there would be an unbiased, there would be a biased view within that commission. Although I really respect Brian, I like Brian, I know he's involved with all of our activities, I would rather see him on a commission other than the one chaired by his mother.
Fair enough.
I don't have a problem with
I guess I'll put my opinion out there.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, it's just one term. If we're not satisfied with his job, then we don't appoint him. I think he should get a chance. He shouldn't be judged any differently just because his mom's in there. I mean, Janae's getting involved, and she's gonna be on a commission, and
Yes, but I wouldn't want to be on the same commission with her.
I know, but I mean, things that they decide might come before you, and I know you. I'm just saying, I don't think it's any different.
I think we determined that there's no legal precedent for having chairman.
There's not a legal issue there, no.
But we have no one else for the position, and to say no to somebody when there's an open position, to me, is not a good message to send to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's a delicate thing. We all know Brian.
3-year term? 4-year?
It's filling
A vacancy?
a vacancy. I don't have.
I'm not
Is
sure.
it a
what
couple
the-
years? I mean, if it's 2 years?
Yeah, it's 3 years as the term if it was in full, but it's filling someone else's term.
I mean, as long as I've known him, I mean, I don't know him too well. He is community oriented and he is involved in things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, there's no easy way to say it, but I mean, is it necessarily the most qualified person for the position?
No, but if nobody else is applying, do you leave it vacant? I'd rather just put him in there, and then if a reappointment comes up, then we replace him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want to go to that. I'd rather have this group kind of on the same page before we have.
I don't have anything against.
I don't want to see a
it's great.
vote go in front of council and not
Hurt feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a volunteer position, and I do. There's part of me that says, yeah, let's just put someone in there to fill a space. But at the same time, I mean, and there's no rocket science that goes on in that commission. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward one, but there are real issues that do come up, especially when field use is being debated. It hasn't been that way in the last 2 years, but prior to that, it was
And it could,
a hot
it could
topic.
definitely come back to that, I agree.
And then as the group gets more active, there is a lot of interest in creating some events. The community day is one, and so as those things go on, I mean, I think having the most qualified person is good. It's unfortunate that Jeff McElhaney was not. He had, I think, a degree in
Parks and Rec
Park-
management.
Yeah, I mean, it was an ideal. I saw it was a no-brainer, but I'd like to see if we get another person on here. Maybe put this on hold for.
Well, how do you send a letter to him?
We could just say that it's on hold. I mean, it's an uncomfortable topic. We know Vicky, we know Brian.
I could draft something that's appropriate. You know, that
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we're going to table it for now.
yeah. That's,
Is what you're preferring, is we table it for now. You know, we'll take action at a later date.
yeah.
Okay.
Is that?
You're right with that.
Yeah,
I mean, if we
I don't
have a
care either way.
vacancy,
I
it's just for
understand
a
what
long
you guys
time.
are saying, that, you know, we could get somebody.
I have a concern that Brian is just going to vote with his mother always, and then you're tipping the balance of that committee. And I feel there's a large UIA contingent on that committee right now. Not that there's anything wrong with the large UIA contingent, but basically you're putting a majority UIA contingent
But don't
on
their
that committee.
decisions come to us or council? Are there any
Only
decisions they
financial.
make?
Only financial.
No.
Okay, so they make decisions that.
On field usage, they make all those
Field
decisions. and-
usage, events. I mean, we're approving some of the stuff because it has it's going against what's already in the ordinance. But yeah, they could do a lot more.
They could do a lot. And we'd be adding, if Brian votes with his mother, we'd be giving EYA board members.
Yeah, because
a
I know
fourth vote.
Roy's EYA.
Roy, Kathy, and Vicky are EYA members. And not that there's anything wrong with that, they are dedicated community volunteers.
Absolutely.
And they're wonderful people, every single one of them is really good. We're just adding a fourth EYA person there, in my opinion, and I'm concerned that that's a voting majority.
Yeah, let's just go with. I don't know. Do we need to officially table this, or just kind of leave it on the agenda?
Leave it on the agenda, you can just leave it on the agenda.
So it'll remain.
You just, so you could say that the Parks and Rec Committee, at this point.
Yeah, basically, we'd like to see if there's some other
undecided
applicants
on
come.
it, or?
Yeah, we'd like to see if some additional applicants come. If we don't see anything in the next 3 months, let's.
You mean to send a letter to them? Just
If you
saying-
could, just to give
Yeah,
them an
just
update.
so he knows that we talked
Vicky would
about
like
it
to know
already.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
Why don't we agree to that? Like, nobody steps up in the next couple months, we'll appoint him because
I'm okay with
nobody
that.
else is willing to step up.
Okay, if at the May meeting we haven't had anyone else that applies, we'll
yeah.
move them in.
Yep.
I'm sure he'll be okay.
And by then, we'll find out what the vacancy is, the length of.
Oh yeah, well, no, yeah.
That's
We
really
can look it
good.
up now. Jefferson?
When you're finished.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna get into the one discussion that started here at our last meeting that was about the rule that we have about dogs in the parks, and then the rules about no bikes at community park.
And we would want to handle them together because you don't want to redraw an ordinance and have to do it twice.
So,
Now, is there a current ordinance that says that, or are they
Maybe-
just park rules?
Why don't we
Park
get
rules.
They're
copies?
just park rules, so we're just
actually,
changing,
I don't know that for sure.
and the rules are probably ordained?
Yes, so.
They're not usually-
If there's some kind of penalty attached to them,
Maybe we should get all that handled first. Get that
Just listen.
information to us so we can look at it, so we can look at
So we
it.
know what we're doing. We don't allow dogs in any of our parks. We don't allow bicycles in any of our parks.
Skateboards, etc.
So we want to look at changing that. And we've had, for years, people have asked why. And we don't really, I don't think any of us have a good
I think
answer.
it's, the dumbest thing is that you can't have a bike in a park.
Yeah.
You go to the park with bike.
I mean, it makes sense not to have a bike in a pavilion. It makes sense not to have a bike inside the pool area. Those places make sense, but it doesn't make sense if you can't ride your bike to the front of the pool and park it.
as a matter of fact, we should be encouraging that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, we should have bicycle racks outside. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have
there
them-
are.
The
There are,
community
but
park
then,
has
but once they
them.
get into the park, you're supposed
They
to
have to
walk.
walk
You
it
have to
in.
walk it through, so you park at one end of the park and you walk your way
Oh,
through the
but
park.
we're allowed to drive our cars into the
Yeah.
park, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Certain
I was
people.
just wondering. Certain people. I think the animal thing is a touchy situation.
Yep, I do too.
I think the bicycle,
It's an easy one.
whoever made that one was kind of,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
we
know what
could
they were
just
thinking
maybe
at the
pick-
time, but.
One or two parks, then that dogs can
Dogs?
go to.
Well, and that's something that maybe you think about, or, and I'm gonna get into this DCNR thing here, in a minute, but if you were to create a dog park, which is something that I seem to hear about from some
For years.
people, then you allow, obviously, dogs into a dog park, just like skateboards into a skate park. But the issue ends up being is, if you allow dogs into the park, you're also going to be dealing with dog crap in the park. You're going to be dealing with, you're going to be dealing with the, hey, that dog tried to bite my little kid in the park. I mean,
Yeah.
so you end up dealing with a little bit more
But
of it,
Shane, on the other hand, they're there now, and it's not enforced.
But it should be.
but it should be.
And it's
So,
not, it
but-
never has been.
and I understand that.
For my lifetime.
So that would be either an enforcement issue.
But they're not gonna do it. They're gonna say they have better things to do. They're not gonna go into a park. I mean, maybe the
Don't we have
park,
park police?
I was just gonna say, maybe the park police will
Summer
say,
weekends we do, and the park police will say something.
yeah.
And the
I'm
public
not,
works employees.
and I'm
will
not
too,
telling
if we
you, I'm not telling you
instruct
that
them
you absolutely shouldn't have, you shouldn't allow them, but it's something that I think
Yeah.
is not as much of a no-brainer as
The bikes,
bicycle.
bikes I'm
Yeah.
totally fine with. I personally am not in favor of having dogs in the park. I mean, it's the number one insurance claim, period, if you talk to any insurance
Those are
person.
That's interesting. I have a dog, but I keep my dog on my property. And if
Right.
I walk my dog, I put my dog on a leash, and I walk through town, and I really feel that this town is very walkable. There's sidewalks almost everywhere. I go from my house on the mountain to my parents all the time with a dog on a leash.
Yeah.
And I don't have any problems with it. I really have plenty of places for my dog to go.
Oh, and I make it as a blanket statement, but there are certain dog owners that are more than responsible to clean up.
Mhm. Right.
Always on the
And,
leash.
it's,
Like, it's the others that are.
Well, it's the others who are
From
going to
a
bring
home-
them to the picnic and leave them tied in the pavilion all day that are going to be our issues.
and the other thing that you can do with dogs in the park is, they even have like the doggy garbage cans,
Right,
like,
yeah.
where you can write it, but they're like, because we bought one for one of our parks in Borough, it was like $500. I thought it would be vandalized.
Mhm.
It's never been vandalized.
I'll give you an example though. We have Triangle Park. I mean, there's dogs there all the time. It's
Well, yeah, I understand that, yeah.
But they're not supposed to be, and it's
No.
well posted.
It's not.
Well, people just choose to do it, and it's not enforced, right? And the same in Community Park, that outer trail, people walk their dogs around that outside, and it's just not enforced. It would be a gigantic pain for someone to have to chase them through the park to say, hey, no dogs.
Yeah, are we really gonna do that? I understand.
You know what I mean?
And you're just gonna ask them to leave, or you're gonna actually what?
Now,
Write a fine?
the park police, when someone has a
Sick
dog
and
in a
fine.
pavilion, tells them they can't in the summer. You can't have your dog here, it's gotta go. And I know they do that part.
Yeah, I like having the rule because if you do need to enforce it, if you're someone that is concerned that if there's a big dog and you have a little 2-year-old and he's running around and you're concerned and you know that the rule of there is no
That's a good
park,
point.
you actually have the authority to then go and enforce
Well,
it.
let's get-
Versus it's just a personal rights.
I would personally ban smoking before I would worry about whether dogs are allowed in the park. It's more of an issue to me that people can sit at a baseball game and smoke and affect other people with smoke than it is whether you can or can't have your dog go for a walk in the park when we have a whole town that they can walk in.
Every youth football game I've ever gone to, the adults go behind the bleachers and smoke. I've never seen anyone just sit in the bleachers and smoke. It just doesn't happen anymore. I mean,
Probably set by somebody like
peer pressure and just the way society is now, it's just that's the direction. I mean, there's people that don't even smoke in buildings anymore. They go outside to smoke. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
the
I mean, we're in the
direction that it's
minority
going.
on that one, I think. I mean, it's been talked about.
I did see Allentown Parks all put up signs that's around their playgrounds that say young lungs at play, please stay away.
And I read that they're not enforcing it.
It's
more
not
of a-
enforced, it's
like
just
you said, the idea
it's
that
more of a just.
somebody can say, oh.
But then
that's
somebody can
what
say,
it's
hey, you can't smoke here.
for. Right.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion.
I have to bring that sign.
So maybe
It's
we
like
can
Mickey's.
get a copy of the rules, the actual park rules, and we can look at it all.
The park
and
rules
adjust
and
it at one time. I
and
mean,
the-
I know we
and the
did it for
attached
Triangle
ordinance.
Park, but maybe we can just look
Yeah.
at it again for,
Yeah.
and see if we want to.
Because you may find that the ordinance doesn't match the rules, or who knows.
Now, is that only at the community park that you can't ride a bike? I mean, like the
No.
trail up at Borough Park, you
No,
mean you couldn't,
can't ride.
you
Yeah,
couldn't ride your bike?
yeah,
I mean, that's
can't
just silly.
That's silly, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially that one especially, I mean.
Or a
people-
skateboard through there, you know?
Because there are generically park rules and then triangle park rules, and
Yeah.
I think they're all.
The Borough Line one especially, because I'm sure that's a main thoroughfare. Now that the trail connects right from the bottom of the Borough Line, you ride your bike right through there, hit the trail, and right into town, and people use it all the time.
Yeah, and just for the record, I'll never support a dog park, just so you know. Because I don't think that's any taxpayer's responsibility to provide an exercise area for a dog owner. If you live in an apartment and you get a dog, and you don't have a yard to exercise your dog, in my opinion, it's not the taxpayer's responsibility to provide it.
I agree with
Okay,
that.
you want a pet, then get a cat. You don't have to take a cat out for walks and stuff, you know? That's just my opinion. I have a fenced-in yard, I want to let my dogs run, they can
No,
run and
you
get
can.
exercise.
I'm with you.
It's
I
not a
agree
park's
with
response,
that.
it's nobody's responsibility.
If we were going to, I would rather invest money in a skate park than I would in a dog park. Just because of who's going to, it's going to get used.
I see kids skate, and that's something that is a fear, is this street right here, I see 3 or 4 kids every day roll by my window, you know, right down the street,
Right.
you know.
Again, they're not supposed to be.
Well, and you know, the question is, where do you want them to go?
And where do you want me to go? And if you talk to the kids, they say, there's nowhere for us to go. We're banned from everywhere now.
Yeah. And do we have any update from them or Chinese?
Shanice was supposed to be here today, he never responded to our letter.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I know we talked about that, so.
I don't know that he's in a rush, but we should.
Well, he sent a letter right out of the gate. As soon as I got here, I got a letter in the first week of he's interested in doing a property swap with us. It's something that he would like to explore, and we had invited him to be at this
Okay,
meeting
good.
to discuss, you know, what his ideas were, what our ideas were, and if it was something that might have been something feasible for council to dig further into. And I sent a response letter back to him. I didn't get anything back. I don't
Probably,
know.
just shoot the question to the new solicitor and just see what his feelings are on that, what he knows.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's really a new solicitor issue.
Yeah.
I think it's really, do you want to give up property behind our building? Because you can always do a subdivision back there, and do a sale for $1 and buy property for $1. I mean, that's one way to do it. Or you can do a property swap, which the borough has participated in before.
Mm-hmm.
But those are all things that you, as a council, would need to decide, is that something that you would want to take on as far as their property? Is it not?
As far as I'm concerned, that's not gonna happen until this organization has enough money to build something.
Well, and that's
So that
something
could
that,
be
well, that's
3
something
years
that
out.
we were
But-
going to get into here.
Yeah, and I mean, we can talk about it now. I mean, there's property that's less usable versus property that's more usable. I think that's a benefit. Even if it doesn't end up ever coming to fruition, having that property would be substantially more
But the
valuable.
borough would actually own it.
Yeah, it's more land, it's in a better part of town, I mean, it's more
Well, it's-
accessible
yeah,
to more
and
people.
it's-
The only thing-
And we can clean up an ice.
The only thing I'm going to tell you is,
There's more maintenance
if you
involved.
get into too much discussion versus real estate transactions, you can go into an executive session and discuss that.
Yes, no, I know.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, at this point, it's a moot point because we haven't heard
Right, yeah,
anything
we've
from
got,
him.
so if we can reach out to them again.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him again. I have two things for you.
Okay, yeah, that's
Um,
fine.
Concession stands.
Okay.
RFP went out, we're advertising 2 weeks, and then we're sending things to individuals. You asked for an inventory of what we had there.
Yes, wonderful.
I do have that, and I can forward you guys the email or I can make copies of this, but here's, it goes from the bottom to here, and then there's leased equipment. Okay, so we own refrigerator, looks like 2 upright freezers, a chest freezer, you know, a countertop grill, hot dog roller, a couple deep fryers, ice cream freezer, a nice,
Is that like a soft ice cream machine, or is that a freezer that holds ice cream?
I would think it's probably a freezer that holds ice cream. An ice machine, air conditioners, obviously, hot water heaters in there, a stainless steel sink, a stainless steel exhaust fan with fire, suppression systems. Then there's lease equipment, which the prior vendor had the lease on it, so we would assume either this guy could continue the lease or the stuff would disappear. He had a lease on a Coke fountain dispenser, Coke upright display cooler, and Nelson's ice cream chest freezer. One thing that John wanted to be very clear about when he emailed me, obviously, was that the equipment that we have in there is
Ancient.
old. Yeah, it's very old.
I was gonna just bring that up.
You know, some of
It
it,
should be replaced
It is
because
on
of
its-
efficiency.
yeah, some of it is on its last leg, and it's not efficient. He did mention that in the email. So,
PPL has programs where if you get rid of your old piece of equipment, they give you like $75 or something
Yeah.
towards the purchase of a new, I mean, I don't think it's limited to just one piece, you just have to show.
yeah, I don't know.
And they actually take the equipment, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, just to bring the electrical costs down alone.
The other part, well, and I'll tell you, this year, you look at a refrigerator, you look at $1,000. You look at a freezer, you look at $500 or $600 a piece. So there's $2,000-3,000. I would say the hot dog roller's got to be okay, right? The deep fryers, I mean, if they're no good, you're looking at a lot of money there. You're looking at probably $2,000. The ice cream freezer, if that's no good, you're looking at another $500 to $1,000. Your ice machine, I've never bought an ice machine before, but they're probably not cheap.
They're
I mean,
costly to maintain. That's
You
the
would
big
probably
thing.
be looking at, if we were to replace that stuff, I mean, just a wild guess, 10,000? I mean, is that just like an off the top of the head?
But I'm not saying to do it all in one shot.
Right, but-
Maybe
but-
you replace the oldest
What we look at
refrigerator or
maybe
freezer
is,
and
maybe
go
we
from
look
there.
at next, is for next year starting to do a replacement of some of that stuff.
Update it.
And the question is, what do we really want to be sold out of there, and to
Yeah.
what level? Like deep fryers, I mean, the danger of us owning a deep fryer is someone getting hurt with a deep
Well,
fryer.
Well,
French
the-
fries are huge at a
Yeah,
snack
the issue comes in,
French fries and pizza.
yeah, the issue comes in at, what kind of food do you what kind of vendor is it?
There's gonna be ice cream. I
I know.
mean, that's not, ice cream, drinks, snacks, and
And if you're selling hamburgers and hot dogs and usually French fries is, but I would think probably at the concerts they probably would sell French fries. Little kids love French fries.
The French fries are a big selling point. I would agree with that. I think it's going to depend on the vendor we get in there and the success they have.
Yeah.
If you get someone who runs a restaurant business, yes, this is important. If you get someone who's going to push candy and popsicles.
Well, which brings you
don't
to
know.
another question, and Jeff brought this up to me today. You know, the way that our RFP is designed, first of all, the advertisement in the newspaper, I made sure was kind of a generic thing.
Okay.
But what I think we need to do is, on our RFP, just modify, you know, it says in there about coming in to get the forms and the rest of the information. Put on there, we want to know what kind of food, you're
What the
planning to
menu
sell.
will be.
Because, you know, what happens if I have 6 people that say we will give you 10% or $3,000? Well, they all said the same thing, so, you know, now what do you go off of? Because we did it on a bid price. So now we can look at other qualifications, like I'm going to sell ice cream, I'm going to
Yeah, that
sell,
makes sense.
instead of I'm going to sell popcorn and peanuts and,
Right.
you know, water that I bring from my spigot at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay your water bill.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense to me. I mean, that gives us something to evaluate on. But no takers yet?
Not yet, it hasn't gone, one of the things, we don't want to go too early, so it's like starting next week.
Okay.
Next Wednesday. I mean, the advertiser's been out there for a week or two,
Right.
but it's starting next week, and then it's going to run through the end of March, and then everything has to be in by April 10th,
April 10th.
which gives them plenty of date.
Yeah.
The bid opening would be April 10th at noon.
So that means it has to be here by noon on April 10th.
Yeah, and I think the reason I did that was so that I could get the information to you guys and get it for the council meeting on
Yeah.
the 16th.
Well, okay.
Or,
I mean, the committee would usually go, that would usually go to the committee.
yeah, when's the committee meet?
The first Tuesday of every month, at 3:30 today, but, so the next
Tuesday
one would be.
the third.
Yeah, see, we couldn't get it that early. So
Right.
we could have,
Meeting.
we could have a,
We
I
can
can get
always
you
meet
guys
before.
the, well, yeah, I can get you guys the information, and then you can meet at 6:30 that day.
Or schedule a special meeting. You
Yeah,
want-
I'm just.
And I'll be honest with
Unless
you,
we're
I
postpone
don't,
that. You could,
I don't foresee us getting,
a whole lot, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
we're
you won't
at one.
know that. Now, could you on the 3rd continue that meeting to the 10th? if you needed
Absolutely.
to? You could continue that meeting till the afternoon of the 10th if you needed to. Like if we know we have 5 or 6 and it's gonna take some time, continue it till the 10th.
and I would know that, well, you know, I would know that on April 10th.
You would at least know how many people are
That's
gonna
wishful
sign out by
thinking.
then.
But I would know that on April 10th.
Okay.
If we were to open 5 or 6 bids, then there's no sense of meeting on
Right.
Monday night.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get 1, 2.
And that's my
Yeah.
feeling is you're gonna get 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, I
No,
hope
no.
so. I mean, yeah, I have no idea.
If Carnival concession stands get a hold of this and realize it's a good deal.
Yeah,
like, who knows
because
what
they're
Shredder,
there.
who knows what Shredder tells either, I don't know.
If they know that they can make a couple bucks.
Right.
If they know they can be profitable, you'll get them. If they feel that they lose money, then,
Yeah.
you know. We were lucky in that, you know, he said he grossed $30,000. That's a pretty decent amount of money, except for he paid most of it back to us in utilities. He paid us,
1,700.
he paid us,
5,000.
Gross is total. Yeah. Net is your.
After he pays his employees and stuff.
After you pay his employees and his costs.
he paid us, 1,400 in electricity and 200 in water and sewage.
No, that electricity bill could be half that though, right? Because we were charging 10 cents a kilowatt hour, we're paying 5, 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we're more reasonable in what we're charging a kilowatt, if we're charging realistically, these will.
We were charging him PPL's rates.
Oh, we were, okay.
That is 10, so that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it is actually higher
Okay.
Yeah.
than 5. I mean, it's, well, you would know, 9 something, right?
For where? For where?
Generically, kilowatt hour. I mean,
What's
the
a
average
kilowatt
is-
hour right now?
It dropped, it's down. For PPL,
Yeah.
Yeah.
residential? See, that's the difference.
Commercial.
Yeah, no, this is- yeah, this is
Just say residential, just give us a number so we have something.
PPL residential now, if you're not locked in, it's like 7.7.
And I seem to think
But if you lock
that,
in, it's higher.
I seem to think that commercial at one point was 10.
Okay.
Okay, and that's why, but the borough went to an alternate supplier, which brought it down to,
Yeah.
8 something, I think.
probably, maybe even lower.
We locked in 2 years.
So, okay, so that covers that. We'll just wait till April 10th to make any decisions.
Yes.
We can talk about what we need to do with the April meeting.
Last thing I want to talk to you, and this is the DCNR grant. That is the recreation grant, that's the,
Okay, yeah.
we talked about it. DCNR, you guys all familiar with DCNR? What DCNR does? They do all the recreation grants. That money is usually 50-50.
I was gonna say matching.
Yeah. There's always a kicker to DCNR, and that is you have to have a DCNR approved study in order to get DCNR approved construction funds, which is ridiculous. But the question I have for you is, do you want to apply for something with DCNR grant money? Now, what I had said to Wes, and Wes and I had discussed a number of items with this. You know, first of all, we have that master park plan through Lehigh County, which quite honestly,
Southwest Lehigh County.
yeah,
Nonsense.
which
Yeah,
is
Brian loves that
horrible. Oh my gosh.
that was a, I read it. It's a horrible plan. I don't even know that DCNR would entertain that as a certified study. But you know, this Action Sports Group is all big into this skate park, and in order for us to even think about assisting them with funding in the future, we would have to have some kind of study.
We're
Now-
not assisting them with funding.
Well, if you were to get a grant
Through grant
to assist
money,
them in
not through
funding,
borough.
If they raise 100,000, we get a grant for 100,000, and it doesn't cost us anything, but we move grant money through to them.
It opens up leverage for them.
And when we need to.
It's not borough money.
It's taxpayer money.
Well, it's all taxpayer money, but someone else is going to get it.
not every grant is taxpayer money. It's established though.
From the state?
Yeah, no. Most grants from the state that we're eligible for are collected on fees, fines, and other collections.
For DCNR?
They have fees, and I'm not saying just DCNR, I'm saying most grants that we get from the state are collected through other means than just tax money. Everybody says it's tax dollars. It's not always tax dollars.
Well, EPA.
Every PA Fish and Boat Commission grant that you would ever apply for, not a single dollar is paid by tax dollars. I'm not saying that this fund isn't tax dollars. I'm not saying that. But for us to sit here and I mean, that's the first thing you always hear is, well, it's tax money somewhere. Not necessarily. It isn't necessarily taxes. It doesn't mean they're not getting their money from somewhere, you know. But nonetheless, with that being said, the question, because I'll tell you, these things take me months to apply for. This isn't fill out the form and send it in. These things, this grant, the DCNR grant, I've received 3 of them. 3 of them in the last 6 years. They're not easy to get. They're a lot of work. The issue is we have until May 1st to go for it. All right. And do you have something in mind or don't you? And if you do, what is it? And it's not something that we can sit here and say, well, we'll wait till April. We'll wait till that month. We'll wait till,
Why?
we wait till April to apply for it. Don't even bother.
And this covers all of recreation.
This covers all of recreation, and depending on what you're looking for example, do you want an addition to a trail? And I'm throwing that out there because trails are always the hot thing in DCNR right now. Do you want to do a feasibility study of a piece of property for, you know, they want to do this skateboard park. Do you want to do a feasibility study to see where a skateboard park could go and whether it's feasible in the community and is there a real need for it. It'll pay for that. It'll pay for master park plans, something that's actually legitimate. It'll pay for
When you say
construction.
pay, 50%.
Yeah. But you can also apply for Appalachian Regional Commission funds. You can apply for, there's dozens of other different kinds of
If you
funds.
put it, let's say you expand the trail, does labor count towards matching? Okay.
Now for studies though, you're not going to get labor, but for construction money, equipment replacement, like park equipment replacement, swimming pool fixtures, swimming pool improvements. Although they have priorities in terms of their funding levels. If you wanted a new trail, all you gotta do is fill it out and send it. They'll pay for a trail, but if you want your swimming pool fixed,
Right.
which is becoming more and more of a problem in communities across the state, it's going to be a harder sell for them. Do you want to improve?
Can I put my thoughts in?
Well,
Yeah, I'm just throwing ideas
Yeah,
out
no,
to you
I
as to
understand.
what it helps. What it helps
I don't know.
to pay,
I don't know
so.
anything about this grant.
Quite personally, I think we should put needs over wants, because I'm sure we have needs that need to be taken care of. And if we're gonna spend money,
Well, he's giving us the option.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just
Not
saying,
familiar. Right.
let's say
Yeah, I don't
pavilion
care.
roofs.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I don't
in the
know
last
the-
5 years, we built standalone structures for bathrooms up on 4th Street and.
Now,
Milwaukee
I
Community Park,
understand that I
stuff
don't
like that.
know. I don't know that it's going to cover something like pavilion roofs. Okay, because the question that is going to come is, how do pavilion roofs help improve access to recreation? And the response is going to be, well, we're just replacing the pavilion roofs because they're starting to leak or whatever.
Well, it could be ball fields. I mean, if
Well,
ball fields
yeah.
need to be resawed or
your ball
reseeded
fields,
or whatever.
your ball fields, if you have tennis courts or basketball courts or any of that kind of stuff, it'll pay. It'll pay
tennis
towards.
courts.
Tennis courts at Borough.
Let me,
We only
can I,
have one.
can I just add just a few comments here of things that I think are the most legitimate as far as things that have been talked about, things that will show up in that plan already. And then just general conversation. If trails are a number one, the trail that we established between South Mountain Gateway Trail,
You would add the loops.
add the loops.
I would
And,
just-
and there is already interest from 2 groups to do matching to that.
When you say add the loops, like up in the.
Do you remember the
When
bikers
Bowman-
did?
yeah, when Bowman
Yeah,
did
I mean, it
also-
never really turned into
Right,
what
it
it
got
was.
flagged and you kind of see
Yeah,
it, but yeah.
but it's
You
tricky.
can't really see, but the parking lot, that entrance there from Klein's
Right.
Lane.
Improve the entrance and
And
improve the loops.
improve the entrance,
And
signage.
this would
It's
help.
not very big, but I
But
mean,
this
it's
would
an area.
help
Yeah.
pay. This would help pay towards that.
Right, and the match is probably there. Wildlands is looking to do stuff. They want to have that, I mean, based on the conversations that we've had over the last 4 years, they want that to be easy access, get into those beautiful trails.
Okay.
I'd love to see that one come together if we're talking about doing this. And there are some other improvements that could.
And that wouldn't cost the borough anything because it would be matching from elsewhere.
The other thing
Well,
is.
that's the only way we're going to be able to afford
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
no,
this.
we're not gonna spend our money to it. If I listed everything else that's ever been talked about, for a while, people really emphasized at the Parks and Rec Commission and then just in general conversation, lights at Klein's Lane. I don't think that we're gonna find anyone that's gonna wanna match that, but
You're saying the top.
For the soccer field?
at Klein's
yeah,
Lane.
and the reason that is that that's a viable field for the football program, the soccer program, hurling.
I'm sure you could get, I'm sure
And
you would end
why
up
does he change
you'd end
the,
up
what's
with
hurling?
rugby, you'd end up with.
No, I learned about that the other day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
I learned about that the other day.
You'd end up with rugby, you'd end up with lacrosse, you'd end up with
Right.
a lot of
It's not a
organizations
frat
that
thing.
want to use.
Yeah.
I thought I thought at first you were throwing monkeys at each other. Throwing monkeys.
Well, actually, that's, yeah, but
As opposed to big monkeys playing.
Yeah, but-
I heard that.
But that was talked about many times because one of the issues that comes up is just how to move the people, how the teams around, not have overuse on one particular field. It spreads it out because they can use the backfield But after the backfield, if they want to practice, especially once the times change in the fall, they have nowhere to go. They have to start practice right at 5 o'clock, go to 6:30, and the other team gets maybe an hour.
And that may be something we might be able to sell. We could definitely look into it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, here are all the things that have been talked about. Skate
Well,
park, baseball field, Homestead Park, which is that whole plot of land doing something.
Our compost area.
Yeah, like the compost
Baseball
area.
field.
Okay,
When you say baseball field, you mean
A community park.
community park?
Yeah.
Right, and then, what was
Homestead
it?
Park.
Homestead?
Yeah.
Which is
That's
between
the
the
actual
house,
name of
the
it,
canals,
yeah.
homestead, and the compost area.
It's the largest property that we own.
I see, it's right down there on the creek, right?
Yeah.
One of the fields is right along the creek, one of them's up a little higher. If you go into
The
compost, you go
memory,
down
the
through.
Remembrance Garden is there.
Yeah.
That all
Oh,
filters
is the
together.
Remembrance Garden
Part of
considered
that.
Homestead Park?
Yeah,
part of
it-
that.
Well, not in anyone's, it's what it's officially called, but no one really calls it that.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is the first I've heard of
Yeah.
Homestead, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean,
official name
it's
of
an
the-
enormous plot of land. I mean, it's not actually marked properly on here, but yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, I've been down
It's-
there, yeah, I've been down
It's
there.
the
It's
community garden,
this-
it's
It's this
everything.
whole. Plot
It's all the way out to
basically.
the fire training ground,
Yeah.
Right.
before you drive in
Right,
comp.
It's by Cintas.
Right,
The
yeah,
Cintas building
I've been
is
back
all-
there, yeah, I was back there.
Were you there with Dr.
Bordered
White?
by-
Oh yeah, you were,
Where you're saying.
Yeah.
you rode your bike down there,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Basically bordered by the compost center and the trail that we just put in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think all
Right,
these
I've
things
been down-
go
I've been
along
through
with
the trail.
kind of the
And that
message.
would be a plan for that area.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I'll bring up one other thing too. That and this is I think this stretches the limit of Borough, but so Lower Macungie, I don't know if it just got approval or they would send it out so that people could look at it. The trail plan they have. Have you seen this down? So the Camp Olympic property. I mean, they have an amazing what they want to do with that, and they've already started on it. It's a phased project. But then they also have a community trail. It's like a 12 to 14 mile trail that goes all around Lower Macungie. The one piece that would make it so that you could take if you were going on a run or a bike ride or whatever, you could come off of the mountains, come through the town, or use any of the trails that take you there. And then the Bollinger property, which was previously a golf course, the Indian Creek Golf Course, is
Across from the high school.
right.
I know exactly where
See,
it is.
okay.
It's not all borough property. Some of it is, some of it is not. A lot of it's Upper Milford, and the other is Lower Macungie. But
Let's talk about that property. I saw preliminary plans the other day from an engineer that 3/4 of that, well, 2/3 of that property is going to be transformed into housing.
actual drawings,
No, it was a new
just preliminary.
preliminary set of drawings. 42 of the properties would be within the borough, and something like 150 would be in Upper Milford.
Right.
They would keep 9-hole golf course, which would be the east side, I guess. The old
The old 9-hole golf
the area
course
that would be in the
is
floodplain.
And I think that's our.
Nothing has been in front of us. There's no official record yet. They
Right.
brought this big map in. As a matter of fact, they did let me have a copy of the
Well,
big
let them
map.
make a trail.
What they
Well,
want to
well,
do,
maybe not.
what they want to
They
do
have to
is
do-
they want to put a sidewalk, like a walking, like
A trail.
Trail.
trail, you want to call it a trail, around the perimeter of the entire project. And they want to connect that they're trying to connect that to Chestnut Street, which would be their ultimate goal. It is some kind of walking path connecting to the street.
Yeah.
They've got a whole lot of problems to deal with before they even think about this.
I mean, it's
Traffic.
a lot of it's
Even
about-
just owning the
traffic,
property. I mean,
yeah.
if they had a bid by, it was off by like $3 million, what they expected to get.
Apparently, the bid price went way down.
Okay. Well, yeah, there was something else.
Yeah, apparently it went way down, and these people feel that they're pretty close.
If it ever gets down to like 25,000, we can get.
We'll go after it.
I'll take it for that.
Yeah.
I told Leanne, I said, we could buy that golf course. And then I'll move my office down.
Yeah, exactly.
I will be having recreation meetings all day. No, I'm just kidding. But nonetheless, so that is, just so you know, that was discussed.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good to
So
know.
any kind of plan that we might want to think about over there is kind of,
In the area.
it's not. we
The
probably
only-
shouldn't
The only
go
other
that
one I
direction.
would say is Lions Playground.
Lions playground?
Lions playground,
That's
playground
entirely-
equipment is entirely
Oh, well,
outdated.
yeah, actually, yeah, that was
It's
the other
like
one.
circa 1960, this
Yeah.
merry-go-round and stuff, it's like an old
And
brand.
I,
general improvement
I
of
had
park
brought
area,
up, I had brought up about putting a pavilion at Lions Playground too. I mean, I think that would work there.
And where is Lions
Right
playground?
behind Central Station, right behind Central Fire Station. There's a baseball field.
Oh, okay, all right, Lions playground, all right, I've been,
Mr. Chairman.
yeah. We have the, what is that, a softball field?
Oh, baseball, softball, yeah, look at the baseball and
Oh.
softball that faces the wrong
Faces the
direction.
sun, so.
Yeah. And there was a plan drawn about that at some point to reverse it and redo it, but it's never happened. So that whole park is an opportunity. It's a center of town park too, so it's an opportunity for a decent playground because of location.
And that's the other side of this grant is you really have to sell whatever project
You
you
used
do.
to have a basketball court
So-
there, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
In the parking lot?
over towards where the exercise building, there used to be one there.
And that would be one that serves Lions, the Lions
Yeah, Jefferson.
Club would work with us on.
Yeah.
But it's way out of date there. I mean, that one is unsafely out of date. The old merry-go-round, you can still spin like an unbelievable speed and fling kids off of. Remember, it's still that.
I
kind of
actually
place.
own one of those.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The borough had to put them up because you're supposed to be getting rid of them.
Yeah, no.
So we put them up for bid, and I said, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I bought it.
I put $100 on it, right? I blew everybody out on water by like. I think everybody's like.
So you could have got it for
$15.
25?
Yeah, I could have got it for $25, right? So, well, now I have it. It's in my garage,
Awesome.
getting
So-
ready to be moved this way.
So those are, I mean, all the things, really, the Camp Olympic one, I mean,
Camp Olympic.
well, that's what that
That's
project,
Laura,
yeah.
that's Laura McCundy's.
Camp Olympics project, Loma County bought that. It's an
Okay.
old,
Camp.
for camp,
Day camp.
yeah.
It's
Or
been
day
like
camp.
50 years probably.
Yeah,
The flood.
but the one thing that does is when that trail, if there's a way to connect it, you can go from basically the high school to the Lehigh Parkway, which, I mean, one of the things that we've talked about many times is, I mean, what is Emmaus all about? And one of the things is outdoor recreation, healthy environments, and I mean, these things go right into that. So if we do need to
Well,
kinda sell it, that is very
and
much
that
true.
one, I'll call Bruce up.
Yeah,
If he's interested in going after DCNR grant,
then we have to get up and move.
well, because your chances, I'll tell you, your chances get improved when you start tag teaming with
Municipalities.
And
municipalities.
there's two other groups that will jump right in on that too.
Okay. And they are?
Rodeo and
Rodeo.
Preserve.
Oh,
Wildlands.
okay,
Yeah.
all right,
I guess the highway.
all right.
Yeah, well, they're easy to guess,
Yeah.
but I mean, that fits
Oh, right,
that's what
yeah.
they're there for. I mean, Wildlands specifically has been working on, with Lower Macungie on this project.
Now let me ask you this, do we have a plan in place for trails?
Lots of discussion, but no,
We've got other possibilities of trails.
Well, what about our last trail? How'd that get paid for?
Growing Greener funds, which is Lehigh County, but that's gonna
Gone.
be, no.
Oh, they're bringing it back.
Yeah,
They're trying to bring back
Yeah.
another round soon.
yeah.
They're working on it. They got
Rodeo
rid of
donation.
Rodale donation, yeah, big donation from Rodale, $10,000.
So we did no, we have no study in place to do that trail. We just
Did
did
you say
it.
study, you mean engineering study or
None.
study, like official?
ADA, nothing.
No.
No.
We just did it. Jeff just took some equipment.
See, and that kind of hurts us. Now, unless Lower Mac did a study for
Yes,
that
they have a
trail.
full
The
study.
only trail
Which
we had to
case-
study
which
for was
case-
Community
It's on their
Park.
website.
That trail we had to study for.
Okay. I mean, that's the and
That
that's
was in the
the
long-term plan.
and that's the killer of this grant in particular is.
Oh, it was in the plan, if that's what you're asking.
It's in the plan.
It was in that
Yeah,
plan.
it's in that plan.
But it's not
Got
like,
thrown in.
it wasn't like, here is exactly what you're gonna do for that. It wasn't like an engineering.
And I think that's something you're gonna have to look at some point and tell us, because we don't know these things about.
You and Jeff,
About
Jeff
the kind
could
of
probably
plan
need more help.
and how it should be there and where it should go. And I think it's something that you're gonna be looking into the future as, because I think we just shoot from the hip often. Yeah, we can get some money for this, let's do it.
Well-
we try to make things happen, but we've never done it the correct way.
I'll be honest with you, and it sucks because you have to. There are certain programs out there where you have to pay to play. You know, so if
Yeah.
you want to
Yes,
build
sir.
it, you got to pay for a study first, and then You got it, and for a study, we all know, any kind of study you do takes at least 2
10,
years.
15, 20.
Yeah, 2
Thousand.
years, and $20,000 later, and you've got a study. So great, now I've got a book,
Right.
which we have plenty of books of studies down there in my office. Then you've got to reapply for the construction grant money. Takes
no
another,
guarantees.
with no guarantees, takes another year for them to decide. Now you're 4 years into this thing before you can actually do
Anything.
Yeah.
a
Well,
project.
that's where it's smart for us to prioritize these things to know what we're doing. So
Yeah,
in,
and-
so in 5 or 10 years, they're getting done.
Yeah, the trails that we've done in the last 6 years are Orchid Lane, the Community Park Trail, and South Mountain Gateway.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the bottom line is that if this year, if 2012 is out, because let's be honest, I
The
mean,
timing
we've
is
got
not
we've got
proper.
we've got a tight timeline. If 2012 is out, what you do is we start looking for, 2013, because the grant rounds will come back in 2013, and
But you're going to write a better grant in 2013.
Right.
That's something you're going to throw
and
together.
I'll tell you guys, the way that,
Is it bad to still apply?
well,
Do they
if you're
put
gonna
that negative?
apply, I'd apply for, kind of, I'd apply for a study. If we can't do a construction thing, I'd apply for a study, but I'd apply for something like a master park plan that details all of our recreation in the entire community. So that way this thing can sit there for the next 10 years and detail, this is what we've got. What we got out of that Southwest Lehigh County thing was junk.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that is 300 pages of
And that was
absolute
me
junk.
at meetings pushing to get things in there that just weren't going to be
Oh,
in
yeah.
there. I went to specific meetings and had to tell the darn guy who showed up half an hour late that this is what he has to have in his
Columbia
plan.
County did the same thing. I think all the counties probably got this thing. And our biggest park in the entire community didn't even get mentioned in it. And we've dumped, we're like $400,000 into projects, like in the last 4 or 5 years, and that, it didn't even get mentioned in their master plan. They never even,
Yeah.
so
Well, I
these
would
county
support-
plans are nothing.
I agree.
I would support if we can do just this one time, going for the trail. If you have matching money,
Yeah.
why not put in for that and expand
But
that
as long as there is
I mean, if it's only like 10,
As long as there's a-
10,
as long as there's,
$15,000.
but as long as there's a study,
The wrong
there had to have been a study, and that's what I'm saying.
Can you
DCNR
just
won't.
draw something up on
a piece of paper.
You give me 2 months, I'll give you a study.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to find
There are
somebody
trees,
else. Yeah.
there's dirt.
it? Here's the path.
Yeah.
And DCNR unfortunately makes it impossible for us to do like an internal kind of study. The requirements are so.
So you're going to put ask for the grant to do the study first, to do the study of everything you're saying, and then from that
Well,
study
yeah, I
you'll
mean,
be able to go forward.
Only a
Well, that's
fool
a
would think we
possibility.
should try and go out after grant money. So if there's a way that we open it up and it doesn't cost us,
The problem is going to be is, let's just do a hypothetical. So we're going to do a master park plan, right? And this is going to entail every single park with every detail in the entire community.
That's 25,000 probably.
We're going to say it's 30,000. They're going to give us 15.
Oh, 30.
Yeah, because we're gonna want to incorporate trails, right? We're gonna want to incorporate the trail. The other way that we can go after trail money is the safe route to school. That's another.
the growing greener basically, if that comes about, they just essentially approve that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, that fits it to a T.
But we'd have a $15,000 gap that you'd have to make up. If that was the case.
And somehow you're going to have to come up with 15,000.
Right, and that's
the question is, where do we have
and
revenue
that's
that we don't
the-
know about, and that's what we've got you for.
And that's the challenge. Now, the nice thing about DCNR,
Do you have to specify you have this money before you apply for the grant?
yeah, you have to say you have secured funds, which we could say our secured funds are tax dollars. And in the meantime, if we can get
Revenue from someone.
somebody else to contribute to that, then, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Or find a source of revenue that we're not exactly.
But
Right.
but
Okay.
with the growing greener, if we can get that would absolutely positively go.
Or you're saying the growing greener would be the matching fund then?
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
And we would do a master rec plan, not a master park plan, so that way it can include.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. If we're talking it that way, a recreation center is probably has been talked about for 20 years.
And that should be in a plan, it really should.
What happens is that if you get a master plan, then it'll fit within any grant that you were to try to apply for with the state anyway.
Yep.
That's just, again, that's another possibility. I'm not telling you, I hate studies.
Yeah.
Because all they tell me is what I already know.
I know. Yep.
But it's kind of like if you want to play poker, you got to buy $500 worth of chips.
So when you say study, we hire a consulting group to come in and do this for us, and that's how it works.
Yep. And then they make a nice little PowerPoint presentation, tell us
Yeah.
all the work they did.
2 years later.
Yeah. But unfortunately, based on your experience, and
Well, it's
we
based
already
on-
know this
it's
too.
based on their
Way the game
requirements.
played.
Yeah, it's their requirements.
Yeah.
It is.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, if we want to make forward progress, I can
They
think
have
of
the grant requirements in here if you guys want copies of
Yeah,
it. I mean,
copies
it's
would be
just, it's, I think this was the PowerPoint that they.
Yeah, if you could put that in our Friday packet.
You can have that. I'll find something else in here. I'm sure I have something in here you can have, right?
Maybe it's a warbler.
Scarlet Tanager.
Here's here's a project timeline type of thing. Like if you were to get a construction grant going, 32 months to do the project.
That's our time frame that we have to have secured,
That's how long it takes.
design, bid, and
Yeah.
actually done.
Where are we at with our audits on all the other things that we've done
We're
before we move forward with something else?
We're just about done. Remember, we're 6 months to a year out before we'd even get notification on this. This isn't one of those programs where you apply for it and they give you a call next week. We're going to be up against probably 600 to 700 other municipalities. And the pot of money keeps getting, yeah, there you go. Hey, Brian, you can have this one.
I like that one too, that's a window,
Yeah, it's a window thing.
I can serve to you, that's perfect. Put that right in the garage.
You had mentioned, sorry, I'm going to change topic, but the Appalachian.
Appalachian Regional Commission. Which I think we would be eligible for in this area. That's a large regional organization.
Yeah.
We have foundations, we have other,
Trucks of Trust.
anything that is, anybody sell a hospital around here lately? You know, I mean, that's where you get a lot of, like your recreation type of things, is foundations from sales of
Right.
not, for-profit or nonprofit hospitals. And they put the nonprofit hospital into the foundation,
That's fine.
and they can only do it on community health type of thing, so.
Air products, air products.
Anybody that would
Air
promote,
products gives money to it.
anybody that would promote community health, individual health, we can sell on recreation.
Schmidt, we had Valley Hospital, and I don't know if they give that money out too. They give out a lot of money.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's tapping them too, though.
Right, yeah. No, I'm not even, actually, I mean, the most true, if the real idea of trail is there, and it has something to do with connecting properties, Wildlands Conservancy is who we should talk to first. Just because that's what their goal is. I mean, and that's why I say, like, the Camp Olympic thing is on their radar for a long time. I mean, we've had discussions here.
There's also the Walkable Communities Program. That's a state-funded program.
I think that came from the, like the crosswalks.
Yeah.
There's ADA compliance in here too, which I'm sure we're lacking
No,
in.
we know that.
In so many places that this grant covers ADA compliance.
Yeah.
That to make the pool truly ADA compliant has to happen.
Yeah.
Which, well, actually it has to happen this year. I guess he didn't show that with you last
No.
year. Oh. Well, that sucks. But I mean,
Yeah.
you are a borough manager and whoever chairs recreation.
Which would be,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your DPW. Jeff knows about it. I think he already has the stuff on order. To be honest with you, we have to make all swimming pools ADA accessible this year. The other thing we have to do is we have to look at all entranceways into the swimming pool. That may include into the dressing rooms, into the
well, they're flat.
yeah.
Flat,
But how wide are the doors?
The doorways aren't wide enough.
They have to be 36 inches.
And maybe they are, I don't know that, but yeah. I don't know what the women's change.
Well,
But it comes down to-
It didn't have anything that
It comes down to what's the height of the water fountain.
You're saying,
You know, a guy threatened to sue Berwick because the
Just
crosswalk
remove
light button was too high.
the what?
The crosswalk light button
Oh,
was
yeah,
too
you
high.
see anyone how low they are.
And you know what I told him? I said, well, you can go ahead and sue us, but that thing hasn't worked in 20 years. He didn't say anything after that.
Yeah, I saw what the new ones, the ones that are in compliance now, what they look like.
But yeah, you know, everything has to be a certain height. ADA requirements have gotten to, and I understand why, and I'm an advocate, you know, an advocate for most of it, but some of it is just,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah,
borderline ridiculous. Like,
Very costly.
we have to get rid of all the cutouts, you know,
Yeah.
the diameters in town. They want a clearly defined bump between your ADA accessible curb cuts.
Yeah, and this is after we just replaced half of them.
Yeah, they just changed that regulation 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But your swimming pools, starting this year, May 1st, has to be, and it might have been March 1st, but
Who
for us,
enforces
it's May
that?
1st. Labor and industry. So when they come and do your accessibility audits, which we just had one done, or if somebody files a complaint,
That's where it would come from mostly.
you would get it. Now, your ADA accessibility doesn't have to be zero entry. So I'm thinking what Jeff did was we purchased a lift to drop a person down into the pool. All right, and that meets the requirement of ADA. But there's other things that you have to look at.
Our lifeguards able to pick them up 2 at a time and just throw them in. Because that's
Oh,
pretty,
you can swim!
they're already on the payroll. Just kidding.
But they do have to be ADA compliant. He is aware of it. I would have thought that you as a council would have been aware of it.
There is a handicapped person who uses our pool who lives right across the street that I'm sure is quite aware of this because during my campaign she complained that there are steps in the pool that don't have railings, there are other issues there. So I'm sure she's quite aware of this, and so it's quite handicapped. So
And we had the discussion.
and very well, he should be able to use our pool.
We had the discussion about railings. We had the discussion about a number of the ADA issues. So that's why I know he's aware of it. But I figured somebody would discuss that.
I never saw it. From a blind I understand how too. I saw there was a considerable amount of improvement. But I thought,
But they were like the broken pumps and stuff
Right,
that
yeah,
got we lost with the flooding.
yeah.
I was never told that there were going to be improvements for the sake of accessibility.
I can tell you this, that swimming pool will not open this year unless there's a handicap
Yeah.
lift.
It's got to be done.
Absolutely will not open.
Now there are ramps that go in. They're plastic ramps, but
There's
they're
plastic
probably
ramps
20
to the
years old.
small pool.
and the big pool. There's one.
Yeah,
That's 20 years old.
yeah, it's not meeting,
I'm sure it's not meeting
yeah, it's
compliance.
not meeting the requirement.
And we do have handicapped people that use our pool regularly. So
Yeah, and you know, a lot of them probably won't even, actually probably 99% of them, probably won't even want to use the lift. But,
It's there somewhere.
yeah, because a lot of them, you know, if they've been using it for that long, there's a good chance that, you know, they've made it work. However they've done it for
Yeah.
years, they'll make it work again. But we do have to offer, you know, that assistance. And so that's something that you will see. You have to see, or else your swimming pool doesn't open this year. It's a law. So we knew it was coming. We knew 2 years ago this was coming. Sorry.
now we never have a representative of staff besides the borough manager at these meetings, and I don't know that that's. And maybe it's necessary at times. I mean, maybe there are people who work in our parks every day that would know those things that could make us aware of issues and problems. I'm caretaker for Upper Milford for one of their parks. And their committees do park tours and have a foreman from the Public Works Department at all the meetings.
You wear a green hat when you do that?
I just think bathrooms and pavilions on weekends.
I was wondering if you were the tour guide. That's
No. But theirs is run more that way, and maybe it's something we should consider, that we should have someone from staff here to say, hey, here's what's going on.
Well, that's why I
saw
made that request to have the pool manager.
Okay,
Because things
that was
like
good.
every year, it seems like it's just that getting going period where I'll get a few phone calls, you'll get a few
Yeah,
phone
here's some
calls,
complaints, yeah.
and then it gets worked out and
Yeah.
runs
But
seamlessly.
the communication is slow in the process.
Very slow.
I did see in a police report that our pavilion roofs were dead. I don't know anything about it.
Was it the pavilion
No,
roof or was it the dugout?
Dugout roof, I'm sorry, it was dugout roof.
Yeah, because remember I said that, we talked about that, the holes in the seat.
Yeah, and I had the next morning.
Yeah.
The newer gentleman, I think he's
Roy Anderson.
Yeah, it was Roy. Sent me an email with a picture of it, and I had forwarded on it. John had said, yeah, that had happened. They filed a police report. They'll repair it in the spring.
Right. Yeah, because that was I knew it wasn't a wear and tear thing.
Somebody chopped through.
It was like the back, is that what it was?
It looks
Yeah,
like
I
they
saw it.
chopped through the roof of one of our dugouts.
Now, Mr. Rowan also brought up us cutting down 3 ash trees in the park recently. I don't know what that was or why. I don't know if that was fact,
We
nonsense.
sustained some major wind damage on some of the trees in the park. And some of them were old and rotting.
A lot of our trees in the park are really old.
If we cut them down, they needed to be cut down. Those guys aren't out there cutting down fresh trees for fun.
But now, and then he did have, I don't know if you discussed the complaints about firewood and who's getting firewood here,
Right.
and how that's working.
I addressed that.
Very good.
I don't think we have anything else on our agenda. Anyone
Sell
else?
it. What we should do.
What's up?
I said if there's firewood, we should sell it. It's good. It's valuable stuff.
Something to entertain. So what do we want to do with this grant thing? Do we want?
I would like to, to put us in the pathway for it. It only makes sense. Why would, if we're going to try and improve our borough, which I think everyone on this council wants to do, you have to have money to do it. And why should we use taxpayer money to do it when we can use grant money to do it? I think that we should try and find, if you think that the study is the best way to go about it, because it is the best way to go about it, to dip into real money, we should try and find someone that wants to match that. And if it's the Growing Greener, perfect, it comes from Lehigh County. Maybe if we express why we're doing it, maybe Wildlands wants to contribute a small amount, maybe we can get the Appalachian Regional Commission, walkable community.
Maybe some of the service club want to contribute towards it because they help maintain our playgrounds, and
Right.
we can say, hey, we can get some money towards a playground in the future, but we've got to do this study up front.
I think maybe for the grant application purpose, maybe we'll put in there that the secured funds to match it are tax dollar funds. Just
Well,
you have to show you have secured dollars to match it. So we could say that we have secured tax dollars to match it, and then keep going at the keep trying to get the donations and other different sources.
Well, before I'm necessarily comfortable doing that, I'd rather see at least.
Yeah,
Let's
just,
find- the Growing Greener
just
should be
remember
our
we
top.
have until May 1st, and what I end up having to do is, before then, we have to get some kind of consulting firm in here to give us a cost estimate on the project, and give us some preliminary, this is what
Okay.
everything would be.
Well, then-
So I have other legwork.
Before we go to any of those lengths, this has to go before council.
Yep.
We can't
Absolutely.
just say,
Yep.
we're gonna do all this. and
But
then-
we can absolutely do the research. We can find out if
Contacts.
Growing Greener
We can
is
do
an
contacts,
opportunity.
Yeah.
Because if it is,
I agree.
it's a no-brainer. It's not borough taxpayer.
And if it's not May 1st this year, it's May 1st next year, and we find that money by then. But I would like to see it, I would love to see it be May 1st this year, but we do have to find out whether that money's available.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Because I
you keep
don't-
saying about
I don't
Growing
think it's
Greener,
gonna-
is it there?
I
or
understand
not?
saying they're tax secured dollars,
According
but
to
I
the
think-
COG meetings,
I don't know that it's best interest in town.
They
It's
want
not.
it to be there.
It's
right?
not, but for
Because if
purpose
there
of
is money there, I'll go back to
I
the
completely agree.
yeah, for purpose
needs
of
versus
applying.
wants.
Right.
And I would
I
refer
agree.
to Jeff on that.
Completely, I just-
Sure.
What are the needs in our park?
I understand.
Because he knows.
Or we scrap it and say
Expense
we'll
things
go
that
after
we
it next
can't
year.
afford.
It's up to you guys what you want me to do.
What was the second thing you said?
Or we scrap it until next year if the timetable's not feasible.
Let's find out let's just find out all of our possibilities.
Find out if there is growing greener money
Yeah.
before the next council meeting. Let's discuss it at the next
And if-
council
if
meeting. If
you-
someone may know something we don't.
Right. Yeah, I mean, growing greener, let's find that out.
And how much?
Right. Wildlands Conservancy, I can put you in touch with the contact person there, and just see if maybe they want to be involved. And if nothing else, maybe they have something that will open up the conversation between the trail and Klein's Lane and also the Camp Olympic.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, if there's a plan, if there's a master plan somewhere else on one of these, then maybe we just go after that.
Yeah, I don't think that they're.
So the Southwest Lehigh County
I
plan.
don't
No, we had a master plan, but it's outdated, that's the
For the
thing.
parks.
Yeah, we have one.
When though? When was it
I'm
done?
just saying, it's outdated.
No, I know, but when?
It's
Like
over
70s?
10 years. No, it's not 70s.
Okay, I mean, I know
That's
it was like
70s.
way.
90s maybe.
Yeah, and I know that they have, like, your plan had to be
Because that's
made
where the
in
trail
so
for the
much time.
park was in. That was
I don't
in
know
there.
what the date is,
Oh,
but
okay.
And
Oh,
all,
yeah.
really what we have is that Southwest Lehigh County plan, but that's 4 or 5 years old now, and it's of no value for anything.
right.
I mean, they called things the wrong thing.
Yeah, we thought that's. I mean, that was why
We thought that's why we were in
put
that
time
process.
and energy into it because,
We
and
expected
that's why we
that
got
to
all
be-
the communities together to do it. But it was just crap.
Well, and you know, when you have somebody trying to make something too big, that's what you end up getting.
Yeah.
You know,
And then
you get a whole lot of
opted out because they had other things done.
Yeah, I mean, you get a whole lot
Yeah,
of
the Lower
nothing.
Country was not part of it. They'd be the cog of. I mean, they had 30,000 people and largest land mass of all 5 of the local municipalities in the Central School District. So, but they were not part of it. So I have nothing further. Anything else? Anyone? Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Thank you, sir.